Welcome back, folks. My name is LastKnownMeal, and today we're going to be taking a look at PlayStation 5. So yesterday we had an event of Sony showing us all the games which we can expect on PlayStation 5. Some were exclusive, some were not, but at the same time we also got the console itself, how PlayStation 5 is going to look like. And after so many months and years of people trying to figure out the design itself, there were so many renders, even the PlayStation 5 developer kit and how it looked, people assumed that the PlayStation is going to look like that. I mean, come on, it would be a step backwards in design and overall aesthetic. Because they also have to keep in mind, yes, they have bold choices when it comes to design, but they also have to think about the future and how our perception of the future and design in the future is going to look like. So I'm going to go into detail later in the video. I'm going to actually separate this video into two parts. In the first one, we're going to talk about the console itself, and in the second part, we're going to cover the games that we've seen yesterday, and in conclusion, I'm going to give you my opinion on what I think about the next generation of consoles and consoles in general. Now, first things first, the design. Now, I was someone who was alive to see the rise of PlayStation 2, of PlayStation 3, of PlayStation 4, and now PlayStation 5. So a lot of time has passed, and I've seen so many designs of the PlayStation that, you know, everyone is familiar with. And the first time yesterday I saw PlayStation 5, I immediately thought of the PlayStation 3. Because when you think about it, PlayStation 5 looks more similar to PlayStation 3 as PlayStation 2 looked like to PlayStation 4. So those two designs are kinda the way Sony likes to take things. For example, PlayStation 4 is black, it's stealth, it's low-key, you know, you can't really notice it the first time you step up into a room, you just tuck it in somewhere, you know the ventilation is good, and you're gonna keep it there, you're gonna play games. Now, when I saw PlayStation 5, my first thought was, they want to make a statement. This is Sony making a statement. They said, we're gonna go bold with design. We're going to do our thing and see if it works. And at the end of the day, they know that design is not the thing that sells the console. It's actually what's inside the console. And I came to this point in life where I couldn't care less how a console looks like. I just need to know that I can place it horizontally. And yes, a lot of people were asking if you can place PlayStation 5 horizontally because of the curves on the side. I think I saw a couple of images where it's placed horizontally, so I think yes. And I don't really think that Sony would give you a console which is only supposed to stand on a stand, yes. They are actually going to give you a console which can be placed horizontally, and this is definitely one of their boldest designs ever. Now, as I was saying, I couldn't care less about the design itself, because in this case, I do care what's on the inside. I do, because something can look like $1 million, but if it's not doing a job, then what's the point? But something can look whatever, but it can actually do the job it's made for. To be able to run the games in normal frame rate, in good resolution, in great graphics that you can play. That's just my opinion on it, because I was someone who grew up playing Nintendo. So for me, honestly, design is not really something I couldn't care about. Like, it could look like whatever. If it has games for me to play, I'm going to buy that console. It's simple as that. Because two things are of importance here. Not the shapes, but actual performance and cooling. I want to see how they handle ventilation in PlayStation 5. I want to see, like, after playing for hours, if the console is going to be warm or not. Because when you look at Xbox Series X, yeah, it looks like a box, but at the same time, if it's effective for cooling, that's about it. But again, this is Sony definitely bringing back the you know, the boldness into the action, and yeah, they have to think about the future as well, because this does look modern, this does look slick, it is clean, so they have to think about the next, you know, 5-10 years, and if the console is going to fit in that overall aesthetic of our homes and generally the aesthetic of our lives. And they're definitely aiming for that. They're aiming for this console to be modern and slick even 5 and 10 years in the future, but you can never know if it is going to be, because overall design and what we like can change with every year now, because every single trend, it goes in really fast but also goes out the same way it came. Obviously, we all know about these specs regarding PlayStation 5. It's definitely one huge jump in technology, and I'm happy because that means that developers who are making games either exclusively for the PlayStation, or people who are making games for, you know, multiple systems like PC, PlayStation, Xbox, are gonna be able to definitely utilize everything they can now, because when they were releasing games which were also coming out for PlayStation 4 and Xbox, you know, you had to somehow make them with, you know, worse resolution, you had to lower down the details, and they didn't look good, but that was the case. I mean, it was, PlayStation 4 is a really old console now, but PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X in this new generation is definitely going to offer developers more freedom in terms of development, and it's going to bring everything close. You know, the graphics are going to look the same on PC, on PlayStation 5, on Xbox, so that's definitely a huge plus now. Now, next thing I want to talk about are games. We had a lot of games showed yesterday. Now, most of those games are fluff games, as I like to call them, because they're made for a very specific audience. You know, those are the games you kinda get as you buy PlayStation. Some of them are just, you know, in my opinion, there to showcase the console itself. And I'm not trying to say that those games are not worth playing. I'm just saying that they're made for a very specific audience. Let's not kid ourselves. But at the same time, as Neon said yesterday on his stream, kids today, which are growing up, like, you have so many options now, and when you play these games on a console like PlayStation 5, you're lucky. You are definitely lucky, because if I showed you the games I played when I was growing up, most of you would go like, what is that? Goddamn pixels? Yeah, pixels. So from that standpoint, I saw a lot of games, those, you know, smaller games in a sense, that are always kind of there when a new PlayStation is revealed. Those are definitely the games I would enjoy playing if I was a kid today. So that's a huge plus. Now, let's talk about some of the most influential games that we've seen. First off, Demon's Souls, definitely something which was not expected. I rather anticipated a new Dark Souls game than having a Demon's Souls remaster, but it's definitely something which I am looking forward to, because Demon's Souls is one heck of a game, and when you bring all of that into new technology that it's gonna be, you know, running on PlayStation 5 in all the detail, it's not only just a remaster, it's a whole remake again of the game, and I think it's going to serve as a nice showcase of what we can expect in the future. Because keep in mind one thing, I know that all of us expected God of War 2 or whatever, but those are the games that don't arrive as soon as the console comes out. Because keep in mind one thing, Sony has to think about the next couple of years, you know? So I think, yeah, obviously God of War 2 is coming, but at the same time, they want to take it slowly, they want to polish the game, and keep in mind the development kit that they have for PlayStation 5, it needs more updates and more patches and, you know, more time in the oven before it's actually ready for people to feel comfortable making games in that new system. So yes, all of the games that you think are not coming out. They're coming out, just not right now. They have to get rid of the first wave. Obviously, even the first wave of games has some really nice titles in it, but those kind of games, you'll have to wait until the console comes out, and maybe a year or two before we actually see it. The second game I'm looking forward to is Spider-Man. It's definitely an interesting choice of going with Miles Morales here. And I think I heard somewhere that it's not actually Spider-Man 2 in a sense, but it's more of a expansion and somewhat of an addition to the first Spider-Man game. I don't know, it's going to offer new things. It's going to obviously take into account new graphics and new technology it has, but they said, like, look, the Spider-Man for PlayStation 4 came out 2 years ago, and of course it's not going to be ready yet. So this is one of those games which are not really sequels, but still offer an upgrade of the systems and overall graphics. And yeah, I enjoyed PlayStation 4 Spider-Man. I absolutely did, and I'll be definitely going into this as well. Next thing, Resident Evil 8 Village. Now, Resident Evil is a game that I kinda expected to appear here. It looks different because of the werewolves, and at the same time, when you look at Chris Redfield, they changed how the man looks again. Every single Resident Evil game, they changed the look of Chris, but it seems that Chris is going to be also a changed man. And I watched the bonus video clip where developers are talking about the new Resident Evil, and they said that things are going to change a lot for Ethan because of Chris Redfield and the way he looks, the way he is. He's actually going to be a very dark character, it seems, in the next Resident Evil. So yeah, it will be an interesting thing to play, because I was looking for a new Resident Evil game from first person. Honestly, Resident Evil 7 was really good. So Resident Evil 8 hopefully lives up to the hype, and hopefully they learned from everything before to actually make one, you know, unforgettable horror experience. Next game I want to talk about is also Ghostwire Tokyo. And I don't know, like, the first time I saw the trailer of Ghostwire Tokyo, it was, I don't know, it was unexpected, because I didn't really expect the game, you know, to look like that, and I didn't know how to feel about it. At one point, like, I said, okay, I want to play it, I think it looks interesting, but on the other hand, I'm like, this game is strange, I don't know if I'm going to like it. So Ghostwire Tokyo is definitely something I need to see more. I need to see proper gameplay to actually figure out if I'm going to like this or not. It certainly has potential, it certainly looks interesting, so I'll be taking a look at it. Next thing, Horizon Zero Dawn, Forbidden West, definitely something that I'm looking forward to. Horizon Zero Dawn was by far one of my favorite PlayStation games and one of the best PlayStation 4 games out there, period. I spent hours and hours and hours just going through the world, and there are so many gameplay options to fight against the robots. It's honestly insane. So to have the new Horizon game so soon, like on release date of PlayStation 5, is truly amazing, and I couldn't be happier about this, because Horizon Zero Dawn is definitely something which sold a lot of consoles, and rightfully so. The game is amazing. As I said, there were also other games like Ratchet Clank, there was Bug Snacks, Goodbye Volcano High. So those games, you know, are the games that I know that some people are going to enjoy. Personally, I don't play them. I played Ratchet Clank when I was a kid on PlayStation 2, and one thing which definitely stood out is the graphics of the new Ratchet Clank. Like, overall, the graphics of almost every single game here, it looks insane. But so on that front alone, I would play it just so I could experience the graphics, because this is the first time that you know, consoles are gonna be able to handle something in its full glorious quality after a long time. And even PlayStation 4 held out for a very long time regarding the graphics. There is no denying that. There was also GTA 5, I guess, remaster. People who buy PlayStation 5 are getting the GTA Online for free. I guess that's a remaster. I'm not actually excited too much about that as I thought I would be, because, you know, now GTA 5 came out a while ago, and yeah, it would be just a cool thing to look at the remaster itself and how remastered it's going to be, but it's not something that I'm really excited about. I guess some people are. Most of the games I've seen look interesting. They look like something I'm generally going to play. Will I buy PlayStation 5 on release? I'm sorry. I think so. I think I will, but at the same time, I'm gonna wait for just a little bit to see how everything is going to be released, how everything is going to be rolled out. There are certainly games that interest me, that are games which I'm going to buy to play with. So that's why I said I couldn't care less about the design itself for as long as that console can actually play the games and actually, you know, play the games properly with decent FPS, with decent ventilation. Yeah. So for the end, as I said, I couldn't care less about the design. I care about ventilation of the console for a longer period of time. Is it going to overheat? And obviously, the second thing, I just want it to run games properly with proper FPS and proper resolution. And that's about it. I couldn't care less about the design, but is PlayStation something I will buy? Yeah, I will buy PlayStation 5 when it comes out. I'm certain that there are many games which are going to interest me, but at the same time, I'm also someone who's going to get Xbox Series X, because I don't really have allegiance to any brand, because why would I argue about a piece of plastic for as long as it's going to run games? That's about it. And just to go back for a sec regarding the PlayStation 5 design, it certainly doesn't look like something you can carry to your friend anymore in a backpack, because, you know, PlayStation 4, just put it in, you carry it over to your friend and you play games. PlayStation 5 looks like it can be damaged when you carry it, so hopefully it doesn't. And, you know, some people said it looks like a router, some people said it looks cheap. One thing which makes it stand out from being cheap, no matter the design, is the material used. So when you get the console in your hands and when you feel like the material, then, you know, you have that premium feeling to it. But before that, obviously, a lot of people are going to say, you know, they're gonna have different opinions, but yeah, I understand. It's very subjective. Design is very subjective, what you like and what you don't like. But at the same time, if you were thinking of buying PlayStation, I don't think design is gonna be one of the things that are going to make you say, oh, I'm not gonna buy this. Because at the end of the day, as I said, if it can run games, it's a good console. If it cannot run games, it's a bad console, no matter how it looked like. So that's my opinion on the next generation of consoles. I'm really happy they're coming out. I'm just happy with all the games we're gonna be able to play. And even in the future, like, obviously these are the first games coming for PlayStation 5. When their development kit has been patched, updated, when we get, you know, other games, other IPs like God of War, Cuphead. I wanted to see Cuphead, honestly, but I didn't. That's when we're actually going to see the true power of this console, because right now every single developer is still figuring out, in my opinion, how to properly handle the new systems and new hardware. So as the time goes on, as people learn, it's definitely going to improve and change. So yeah, that's everything I have for you regarding PlayStation 5 and the games we talked about. Tell me down below, what do you think about PlayStation? Are you gonna be buying it? Are you maybe buying Xbox Series X? Are you skipping the consoles until further notice when you have more games? Like, yeah, obviously, not a lot of people are going to buy PlayStation 5 on release, because they are waiting for more games to be released, or maybe they're waiting for a discount, who knows. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button, and as I said, tell me down below what you think about it, and join our growing social media on Discord and Twitter. And I made a Patreon page, everyone. If you are looking for an extra way to support the channel, check it out. And huge thanks to my current Patreon supporters. This is LKM signing out, and stay classy, everyone. Bye bye.